speculating that Harbaugh's time at Michigan is coming to a close. There's a report that at least 5 NFL teams would be interested in the former 49ers coach if he became available. Harbaugh led San Francisco to a Super Bowl appearance and 2 other NFC Championship appearances when he was working the sidelines in the pros. So, Shannon, would you hire Harbaugh to coach your NFL team?
Nah, I'm good. He can't get my team over the hump. Hell, he's supposed to get Michigan over the hump. And Michigan has gotten worse. Has yet to beat Ohio State. You got to beat Ohio State. You got to beat them at least once. You'd like to go, split, go 500. He's 0-5 against Ohio State, 1-4 in bowl games, and he's 2-4 this year. And he lost some really bad games. Skip, his style wears on you. And I don't know if people know this, Skip. This 4 years at Michigan is the longest tenure of Jim Harbaugh's career. And then he stopped. San Diego, Stanford, San Francisco. Yeah. 4 years. His style grinds you down. It's so fun. A lot of like you said about Coach Gruden, it's a big spark. It's an aura around it, and there's just like, it just wears you down. I wouldn't hire him on my team because I already know, I know people that's been around him and watch his style. Nah, I'm good. You can't get Michigan over the hump. You can't get my guys over the hump.
Yeah, that style ground those 49ers all the way to 3 straight NFC championship games and 1 Super Bowl that they probably should have won thanks to what was a non-call on Michael Crabtree in the end zone at the end of the game against Baltimore. They lost 34-31.
Yes.
Much of that thanks to Colin Kaepernick because Jim Harbaugh had the guts to change horses, so to speak, in midstream, and he put check down Alex on the bench, as in Alex Smith, the first overall pick in the draft, and a second-round pick from, where was he, Reno?
Nevada.
Colin, yeah, Nevada, Reno. Yeah, here came Colin Kaepernick. He said, that kid is my guy. I can go places with that kid. And he had the guts and the vision to elevate Colin into the starting lineup, and they took off all the way to the Super Bowl.
Yes.
So I give him credit for at least helping put Colin Kaepernick on the map.
I give him credit for that, Skip.
Okay, thank you. So he was sensational at San Diego, sensational at Stanford, and then all-time sensational, 3 straight NFC championship games, and having to battle with the Legion of Boom at its peak in Seattle, right? At Michigan, his problem has been recruiting a quarterback. He just hasn't had one, right?
Yeah.
So I thought this year, start of the year, I know Jenny agreed, we thought Joe Milton might be something. He might be pretty good, and he's not that great. He's 4 touchdowns to 4 interceptions and has lost his job and regained it and lost it, and they got Cade McNamara, and they're going back and forth. They don't have that quarterback. You got to have Justin Fields. Do you have a Justin Fields?
But, Skip, if you look at them, with the exception of quarterbacks, they get a lot of force denied. They don't get the level of 4-star recruits that say Ohio State, Alabama, Clemson, but they're probably top 7 as far as 4-star recruits. Have they 4 and 5-star? Have they developed any of them? When the last time they had a first-round draft pick?
They had.
That wasn't Brady Hoke's. His.
What's his name? Gary.
To
the
with the Packers.
Yep.
Come on, Skip. Look at it. Look at St. Nick. Even Dabo.
Well, look at Ohio State. You don't talk about an NFL pipeline.
Okay.
Can those receivers run or not? Did you see Terry McLaurin? He can fly.
But we receive with you.
Yep.
You see what Alabama got? That Devontae
Killen should be in the Heisman race. Seriously.
He should be.
Okay. I got it. So he's up against all the above, and he has not been able to overcome it. Would I have him coach my NFL team? You better believe I would, because even if it's 3 years or bust, I'll take those 3 years.
And you think about it, you had the nerve to say you would have old khaki pants over Coach Saban, over St. Nick. You was willing to take khaki pants over St. Nick. You should not apologize.
As an overall head coach, we were talking about body of work as a head coach. Did you see, or happen? It only lasts about 15 minutes. Did you see Coach Saban at Miami and call pro football?
Why? Because they failed Drew Brees on a physical. You said you got to have a quarterback. That's what you told me. You just said if Jim Harbaugh had a quarterback, he'd be good at Michigan.
You want to talk about a flame out in pro football? Coach Saban had the all-time flame out So you can't, if you go body of work, pro in college, yeah, I'll take Jim Harbaugh over Coach Saban.
I'm taking Coach Saban because I'm going to take those 6 national titles. 6 of them.
Boy, look at this.
6 of them.
Okay.
That's got to be worth at least 2 NFL titles,
Okay.
right?
Is that going to outweigh the flame out in pro football?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Skip, the man's won everywhere. He won a national title at LSU. Left those players. Les Miles won a title with his players. Go to the NFL. Alabama was downtrodden. Nobody was talking about it. And the worst year he's ever had at Alabama, he lost 3 games. Let that sink in for just a second. The man's been there for over a decade.
Okay, I got it. Pro football, not so much. Jim Harbaugh in pro football, wow.
Skip.
Hey, do I wish Jerry Jones had hired Jim Harbaugh instead of the guy we got now?
No, exactly.
No.
You talking about we got us a made man.
Harbaugh should have a Super Bowl ring.
You might have been at Jerry's house drinking with him that night. Oh, they was just they stayed up late. They were swapping stories. He was telling Jerry how I watched every last one of the games and all that.
Yep.
And now you want the man gone.
If I had this guy, I would take him in a heartbeat. Look at what he did. Who goes into a place and suddenly goes to 3 straight NFC championship
But I
games?
tell you what he did do. He did spend a lot of those Michigan boosters' money taking the kids. The kids got a chance to see the Vatican.
They did.
Got a chance to go places they never go. But
Yep.
you know where they haven't been? To Indy, where Jenny gonna go in a couple of weeks, to the Big Ten championship. Now you can spend all that money. Skip, if I'm not mistaken, the Big Ten will pay for you to go to the conference championship.
Well, all I know is Shannon Sharp says I'm good when it comes to pro football. And according to this report, 5 NFL teams are interested in Jim Harbaugh, and Dallas should be one of them.
But hold on. Dallas just hired a head coach
Well, I'm
last
just
year.
shaky. I haven't seen enough. Between him and the new coordinator on defense, I don't know.
You're already ready to move on?
Oh,
Yep.
but
Well, if I had Jim Harbaugh,
It's
if I had
that
a
quick?
choice, I'd take Jim Harbaugh in a heartbbeat.
I thought the season
Heartbeat.
started today for the Cowboys,
what he
though.
did.
You
Yeah,
should have
the season started today, right?
We're going to win
It
in
starts
spite
today.
of him
It
today.
starts tonight, actually, after this one.
Okay,
Moving
in spite
on.
of.
I'm going to move on from that. So, Shannon, should Allen have gone #1 overall in the 2018 draft instead of Baker Mayfield?
Well, Skip, it's easy to say that now because it looks like he has the best upside. He's the second most athletic quarterback in the draft behind Lamar, but I believe his arm is the best in the draft class. So if you look at it and says that now, but if I were to take, let's just say for the sake of argument, Skip, he went to a Power 5 school. With his tools, there's no question in my mind he's the #1 pick in the draft. No question in my mind. But it was because he went to Wyoming. Because, Skip, I mean, you see the throws that he's making. He can move and throw the ball on the move like a much smaller. You don't realize how big he is. He's 6'5.5", easy 240, and he has a cannon for an arm.
He does.
And the thing that you always concern yourself with, Skip, with a guy that has a strong arm is his accuracy. Because sometimes the ball, he's throwing it so hard, the ball sails on him, and he gets away from him. But he made a throw last night on an end cut, what we call a dagger route, where he threw the ball over Fred Warner.
Yeah.
Skip, not very many quarterbacks can make that throw. Not very many quarterbacks have the moxie to say, you know what, I can get it there. And when you look at him, his legs, his ability to throw on the move, the ability to throw in the pocket, to get off a script, Skip, knowing what we know now, it's easy to say that. But I believe had he gone to a Power 5 school, he would have been the #1 pick in the draft. And that was the only reason that he wasn't, is because he went to Wyoming. He's from Ohio State, Michigan, or one of these, like I said, any Power 5 school. With that kind of talent, Skip, he's going #1. He's going #1. He's Drew Bledsoe. More athletic, big arm, because Skip, Drew could throw it 80 yards, but he's more mobile than Drew.
Way more.
So, yeah, Skip, I'm impressed. I mean, he has the third time this year, Skip, he's had 3 games with 375, 3 touchdowns, and no interceptions.
Yep.
You talk about Big Ben in the MVP discussion, you might need to mention him.
Okay, so I told you before the year, I love the Bills. I wish I'd had the guts to pick the Bills to win the AFC because I picked Lamar and company just because I thought they were due. They were right on the precipice, and I thought it was going to be Lamar's.
You picked them as a playoff team.
I did.
You want to pick the Bills to win the AFC? The whole shebang.
Yeah.
Get to Tampa.
No, I was thinking about it before the year. I told you that on opening day, whenever we picked, on the Friday before the opener. Okay, now back to Josh Allen. He had an extraordinary game last night. That's just like you didn't do a whole lot wrong in that game.
He didn't.
the knock on him, the concern that I still have about him is his accuracy because the arm is so big. And I watched him one game at Wyoming. I think it was against Boise State. I think it was, but now I'm not sure about that.
Right.
But he was shaky. His body language was shaky. He wasn't sure of himself. So his rookie year, he completed